Welcome to the Explore Real Estate Show. I am James Boslaw, your Fredericksburg area realtor and vacation rental investor. And this show is all about real estate in the Fredericksburg area, the Fawn Lake community, and the vacation rental space. I help people buy and sell homes because I believe that everyone should grow their wealth as they live in or own a home that they love. I also believe that everyone should feel confident when buying or selling a home, and confidence comes when you are well educated and informed. And that's what this show is all about. Enjoy the show. Hey everybody, welcome to the Explore Real Estate Show, where in today's episode, we are going to break down the real estate stats for the Fredericksburg area through the month of August. And as we do that, these stats can be slightly boring, however, very, very important. And we'll dive into why in just a moment. So as we look at the stats for the Fredericksburg area, year to date, so that would be January through August, this is what we find. We find that the overall sold dollar volume is down 23% from 2022, January through August. So there's just less home selling. This has been a common theme that we have seen over the course of the entire year. Every month, this is proven to be the case. The average sales price has actually increased. It's gone up and appreciated by 3%. The median sold price has also gone up 3% year to date. Now, this might seem very boring. It's not the high numbers that we experienced in the years past. It's definitely not in the negatives, like maybe some of the headlines you're reading might think you to believe. But this is actually a very normal amount of appreciation. And what that tells us is that the 3%, anywhere between 3 to 5% is really normal for appreciation year over year. And so what we're seeing is the average sales prices and the sold price is actually normalizing. No longer is it double digits, crazy appreciations. It's not in the negatives. It's just appreciating at normal levels. So things are definitely starting to normalize when it comes to the average and median sales price year to date in the Fredericksburg area. Now, the overall units sold, much like the overall sold volume, is down 27%. So we just don't have as many transactions as we have had. And as I've said, many months in a row, this is in large part due to the increase of interest rates, which have slowed down demand. And where it stands as of today, interest rates are about 7.25%. And so that hasn't stopped buyers from buying, but it certainly has slowed them down quite a bit as well. And just let me speak to the interest rates just for a moment. 7%, it just feels very, very high for all of us because just a few years ago, we were in the 3s and even as low as the upper 2s. But when you look at the interest rate over the course of a long duration, a long time, 7% is maybe average or just slightly above average. And so even though it feels like a shock to us, this is also somewhat normal as far as interest rate standards over a long period of time. So both the appreciation and the interest rates are currently normal. The average days on market is up 59%. So last year, January through August, the average days on market for a home to go under contract was 17 days. Whereas in this year, January through August, the average days on market is 27 days. So sellers, it might take a little bit longer for you to get your home under contract, but your sales price is going to be about 3% higher this year than it was last year. So it's not all that bad news. And so these stats are actually kind of boring. It's more of the same that we've been going over the last several months, but it is significant because what we're seeing is basically a reset in the market. Things have normalized. Appreciation, normalize. Interest rates, normalize. The amount of time it takes to sell a home, normalize. 27 days is about normal if you look at a long period of time. So what does this mean if you're a seller or a buyer? This is what it means. If you're a seller, your home is appreciating. You can exhale. Don't fall into the hype of the headlines that say the real estate market is falling or failing. It is not. Your home is currently going up in price at a very normal rate of 3%, both average and median. Now, what does this mean if you're a buyer? Well, it definitely means that when you do buy a home, you are buying a home that is appreciating in value. The home sales are not going down. They're actually going up. and there's no signs of that changing anytime soon. And so it's not necessarily a bad time to buy because you are buying an asset that is appreciating. But those higher interest rates, they might feel high to you now because it's much higher than it was years ago. But all in all, these interest rates are about normal. And as I remind buyers all the time, just because you buy in at a certain interest rate doesn't mean you need to stay there. When the interest rates do go down, you can refinance. But just make sure that you do understand that when the rates go down, all the buyers will be coming off the sidelines and you will be competing against several other buyers, and you might be elevating the sales price of the home you're trying to get by going above asking price. So you have to ask yourself if that's worth it, if you would rather wait for the interest rates to come down and compete with other buyers, or if you can afford the home and there's a home that you like, to get it now before it goes up in price and just refinance it later when the interest rates do go down. So there's definitely opportunities out there if you're a buyer. Inventory does remain very low, and this is due to the golden handcuffs, which I've created my own episode to go over that if you want to understand what the golden handcuffs are. But inventory remains very low, and that has also kept the sales prices going up slightly. So these statistics aren't mind-blowing. They're kind of boring in some ways, but it's very significant because our market is normalizing, and we're getting back to really over the course of a long period of time, these are all about average numbers. And so there's opportunities if you're a buyer, if you're a seller. Of course, if you have more questions and need more expert advice in the local area, you can always find me at my website at explorewithjb.com. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to click subscribe so that you can stay up to date on every single episode that I put out. And if you're listening to this on Apple's podcast, then make sure to follow the show as well. That way you could also be kept up with the most recent episodes. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope this information is good for you and helps you. And if you have any questions, you can find me at my website at explorewithjb.com. Hope you have a great day and a great week, and even better weekend. Make it a good one.